What nobody will tell you about racist beauty companies. From makeup brands launching foundation shades that aren't even shady, because there are no shades, to what's recently been happening, where a bunch of companies are pledging that they're going to donate, but then they're not speaking up about the racial profile that they actually employ at their company. And then, of course, we have makeup brands that have made huge problems, even outside of their foundation ranges. And I think it's also important to discuss why these are issues. Let's start off with Huda Beauty, who actually did something amazing this past week, donating $500,000 to Black Lives Matter movements and initiatives. That is amazing, but that doesn't excuse Huda Beauty from what has happened in the past. Specifically, Huda Beauty has reposted images of white women applying the Huda Beauty foundation to create a blacker face. Some people argue that this is an expression of artistic creativity, but others argue that this is blackface and insensitive because this picture is a white woman using a black foundation to change the color of her skin. However, that's not the only offense that Huda Beauty has had. They have also posted articles on vulva lightening. Yes, saying that your lady parts are not good enough as they are, and they should be lightened or whitened in order to be beautiful. And this gets into other issues such as mutilation, which I can't talk about in this video without being demonetized, and I want this video to remain a fundraiser, which is why I can't say that word out loud. Thanks, YouTube censorship. But that is an issue that is deeply rooted in racism and is also a way to control women's bodies and essentially tell women, you're not good enough as you are, so you need to change all these things about you. And, oh, the narrative of lighter is better. I found a YouTube video that also showed Huda Beauty promoting All Lives Matter, and let's discuss why this is an issue, but let's bring Too Faced into the situation. Let's talk about Rich Lives Matter, aka Jared, the founder of Too Faced, and what he had on his cake. This is extremely insensitive for multiple reasons. And to explain that, we have to talk about why Black Lives Matter started, and then why Rich Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, or Blue Lives Matter came out of it. You see, the term Black Lives Matter was created to raise awareness about an issue, people who are being profiled and discriminated against because of the color of their skin. Now, it wasn't until Black Lives Matter became a term that terms such as All Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, or Rich Lives Matter entered the conversation. The original one was to raise awareness on the issue. The others were created just to distract from that issue and perpetuate a narrative that points towards racism. And when you look at it from the outside, if you don't know the history behind it, it's like, oh, all lives matter. Well, who could deny that? Of course all lives matter. But the issue is that Black lives aren't being shown that they matter. And we can't say all lives matter if the Black ones don't. And my analogy for this is, again, I was in a horrific water skiing accident. I was water skiing, my arm got twisted up behind my head. I had to be rushed to the emergency room. Went to the ER, I said, "Doctor, my arm is broken, I need a cast, it's horrible." He looks at it and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's bad." I'm like, "Give me a cast, help me out, I need pain meds, fix me." He looks at me and he's like, "Well, yes, I can see your arm is broken, but Cassandra, all bones matter." Yes, of course all bones matter, but this is the broken one, and we need to take care of this first. And that is why saying all lives matter or blue lives matter, we're not denying that they don't, but that was only created to distract from the actual issue, which is the broken bone, the Black lives that are being killed, discriminated against, and left out of important conversations just because of the color of their skin. Jared, the founder of Too Faced, created a cake called Rich Lives Matter. Was this supposed to be personal? Was it ever supposed to be leaked? I don't know. But again, it pushes the narrative of, I'm a rich, privileged, cisgender man, my life matters, and therefore I want to distract the conversation from happening around the actual issues at hand, which is of course very insensitive. Speaking of insensitivity, let's talk about IT Cosmetics. IT Cosmetics has a founder who has openly spoken about the discrimination that she's felt for being larger than normal, quote unquote. She talks about her experience as a woman and how her size has made her felt discriminated for.
I met with a potential investor who was a pretty big deal in private equity at the time. And after diligence, he decided to pass on investing in IT Cosmetics. And I'll never forget when I asked him why. He said to me, "I'm just not sure women would buy makeup from someone who looks like you. You know, with your body and your weight." I couldn't get that guy out of my head who told me that women won't buy from someone who looks like me. But what my gut told me is women are tired of buying from ads and commercials who don't look like them. I cast models like Helen, who's 73, and Alicia, who's African American with acne-prone skin, and Desiree, who has hereditary under-eye circles no matter how much sleep she gets. I realized in that moment, when it comes to the images that we see of beauty as women, it was a moment in time that showed me the power of the people is greater than the people in power.
And she talks about inclusivity in the beauty industry.
Turn on QVC or really any TV shopping channel, now 7 years later, you see almost all makeup brands showing real women before and afters. And when I see that, I smile. Because I believe the most beautiful women are real. We come in all shapes, we come in all sizes, we come in all different hair textures, all skin tones, we come in all ages.
How her brand is doing so much to accept all people, but their shade range is abominable. They have the money to create shades. They have concealers in 40 shades, but when it comes to their best-selling CC creams, they do not cater to people who have darker skin tones. And again, how can this person stand up here on stage, spew this narrative of inclusivity, and then have none? And discuss how many people employed by her company actually identify as Black, African American, Hispanic, Latina, Latino, Latinx, Asian. Spill those numbers, girl, and you have the money to create more shades. Please do. Speaking of shades, we've already gone into Tarte Cosmetics. They are super, super shady because they don't have shades. They launched their best-selling foundations and literally had maybe 2 diverse colors. They then apologized, said that they were going to remake them, and the remake, the extended range, was just as bad as the first one. But it goes to show this is a way that a brand can kind of gatekeep who wears their products and what they look like on social media. Again, going back to Abercrombie & Fitch, the founder even said, we don't like fat girls, we don't make clothes for fat girls, and by not making clothing in those sizes, they stop fat people from wearing their clothing and control their image. Is Tarte Cosmetics doing this? I don't know. However, their shade range was abhorrent, and it looks like they have done things to fix that since then. For instance, recently they did post on Instagram about how much money they're donating as well as the makeup of their company. They have promised to do better, which I think is a great step in the right direction. But we have to start calling these brands out and being aware of what's happening if we want to be conscious consumers. Even though racism is something that we all condemn, it's not a pass-fail issue. It's something that is systemic built into things such as skincare and makeup companies. And you could say that foundation shades or skincare lightening creams really aren't the biggest deal. No, they're not, but they're a part of the problem. And until we have those conversations, ask those brands to pull up or shut up and do better, we're not going to be able to make full progress. And again, if you are someone from the communities who have been marginalized because of some of these issues, and if I have said anything wrong in this or other videos, please call me out on it so that I can learn from that, correct it, and have that criticism done publicly so that everyone watching can learn from it. Always remember to be beautiful inside and out. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.